What up, my freaks? RuinousInsight here with part lucky number 13 of my Total Warhammer 3 modded Karl Franz campaign. I suppose I should really stop calling it lucky number 13 when we're facing off against the Skaven, which we're doing in various campaigns right now, so yeah, not so lucky perhaps for us. But anyway, as we saw last time, we got a very nice little battle with Peter von Sigurd sallying out of Fort Bergbray and arraying battle lines against the orcs just outside the settlement. They were destroyed by virtue of a couple of the armies being in march stance, and thus we are safe from the broken axe, at least here, for probably at least a few turns until they rebuild. Maybe this will give us the opportunity to take Shisoro next turn, though we do have to watch out for the various Skaven armies here, which are still close enough to pose something of a threat. It is still an annoyance that they are also not at war with Lewin, and it would be really great if we could get him to fight them, but he really doesn't want to. Minus 29.1. We'll see how much Gisoro is worth to him, as well as some of these other territories. Maybe for that. Anyway, in terms of what we gotta do this turn, there's probably not all that much. Dagobert, you are actually going to start moving out this way, because you will be joining Wolfram Custerman's army. Though I'm still unsure whether we should put you in Karl's army. Once again, the problem I think there is that he specifically doesn't buff greatswords, which is kind of infuriating, but well, what can you do? And I'm not sure that the other buffs are quite worth it. I mean, yeah, we are the elite is decent, but is it worth it to not have one of these in the army? I don't know. I just don't know. It might be nice to have one on a demigryph leading the Reiksguard around, but it's not super necessary. I'll think about it. We can always get this one in one army and then put him in another army afterwards. Or get another one and then put him in Karl's army after this one's being in a different army. You know what I mean. Anyway, I don't believe there's anything else to do with regards to moves. We got our buildings being built, and I guess we're ready to go to the next turn. We did recover Hawkland last episode, but we will probably be bypassing their territory to try to avoid their plague as we march onward towards Brass Keep and the destruction of the Fecundites. And then we will have to decide whether we will attack Draika or not. Let's actually end the turn while we're deciding here. As somebody pointed out in the comments of the previous episode, the buff for defeating Draika is it's pretty terrible, pretty negligible. Immunity to the Athaloran attrition and stuff. We really don't care about all that, and oh, it's another undead attack. I think we just auto-resolve this one. It's all zombies and bats and doggos. There you go. And we got a free Terrifying Mask of V. Makes sense that the undead brought it to us. And we're gonna pardon the captives for a little more cash, because, well, we're making good use of the cash right now, and we're about to upgrade one of our forts, so we really do want to make use of that as well. Alrighty, what do we got out here? Talabheim does have a full stack around. Yeah, I feel like even if we sacked the Brass Keep, it would probably get destroyed. Hey, faction encountered Zufbar. Terrifying Mask of V, Great Grave Robber. I do wonder if the Zufbar faction is going to be willing to trade with us. And they should be reasonably friendly. Are you able to move into Altdorf? Yes, you are. Beautiful. We've recovered pretty much all of Middenland, and Nordland's looking pretty good as well. At least the northern portion of the Empire we've managed to keep relatively safe. With Khazrak gone and the Fecundites about to be gone, this place should be looking pretty okay. I did also want to double check whether... I was hoping to peace out with the scaling, but that's not going to happen. Hey, Zufbar is willing to non-aggress. Alright, let's do that. Not willing to trade, but let's do that. It'll be free money for us. At least for now. Granted, a few other factions will not be happy about it, but it's those factions will be fighting anyway. A mission to kill Vlad von Karstein. Well, we had that mission anyway, in our hearts. But now we have the physical actual mission. Hey, look at that. Dirthu's beside Monfa. Oh. It has no garrison. You could move into it right now, but then you'd immediately get attacked by these guys, most likely. No, I think what we'll do is we'll transfer recruiters' troops to you. The question is, how many of the Free Company militia do we want to transfer? I did want to get a few Free Company militia in this army, at least a few more, at least 2 more. I guess we transfer 3 to you then? You don't need a crazy amount of them. Wait, do we need to build anything here? Yes, we do. That would have been a reduced cost. I guess we can get Bernhard to recruit. Okay, so here's how we're going to do this. You're going to go here. You're going to transfer the troops. If Durtha could just move to Carrick-Ziflin, that would be swell. You're going to take 3 of the Free Company. The 3 Company, I should say. You know what? Don't take the high veterancy one, mostly because it's already damaged, and it might take a while to heal up. Yeah, let's leave it at full HP, especially if you're gonna attack that. Then, you can't move this turn, but you will be able to next turn. Now, Helmgart, we've been waiting, so we're going to start upgrading you, and we do have the money for it. But we are going to switch immediately back to the state troop levy for the extra campaign movement range. Recruiter, you can go on the edge of this, but you can take advantage of the bonuses offered by going here. And Dagobert, you are going to join Wolfram Kusterman, who I guess will be moving towards Altdorf. Actually, wait, do we move him towards Altdorf or Eilhart? Because we can have Bernhard recruit as well. He's not the recruiter, but he's almost as good. He just lacks a militiaman, which we could always transfer over, like so. You know what? We'll do that. You're gonna go here. In March stance, maybe further. I guess we suffer attrition there. Because here's what I'm thinking. We will have... Oh, we have the Bordermen available now. And we should probably get them off cooldown. In 4 turns, we will also have access to Imperial Foot. Now, Karl is too far from places where he can actually raise troops, because you can't do that in allied territories. So we could do is we could have Wolfram Kusterman and bring him to them. Or bring them to him, rather. Although, to be fair, Recruiter does move further because of his extra campaign movement range. But you don't really have anything to do right now. The question is, do we want to wait around 4 turns? And the answer is still probably yes. Alrighty, well, we then need to figure out how we're going to do this. So, Karl is going to get another Imperial Foot, as well as another handgunner. Or Borderman, so we can take out one of the crossbows. Man, I guess we just take out all 3 crossbows. You're going to get replaced by the Borderman. We're going to add the silver bullets as soon as Karl is level 16, and then you can get replaced by Imperial Foot. And we'll keep the Sigmar Sons in here for now, but we will be taking them out of Karl's army eventually because he has no use for the Emperor's finest, ironic as that is. Granted, it does buff his halberdiers, but we can replace those with either tanks or more likely with demigriffs later on, because we do get the buffs for the demigriffs out of Honest Steel, which buffs our greatswords. Though it does feel like 6 greatswords would be optimal, considering how much we reduce them. It's not like we reduce handgunner upkeep, but it's not like handgunner's all that expensive anyway. Oh, also curious, 255 upkeep. If we were to take Military Heritage, the Vanguard, would this also apply to state troops? I feel like it wouldn't because they already have the reduction on state troops, but it would be nice if it did. Because here's the thing. I really feel like the Military Heritage Vanguard is actually better than the Military Heritage Knightly Orders. Recruitment cost is irrelevant for Karl. Leadership is great, but our leadership is going to be pretty high always. Speed plus 15 for Cav is decent, but Cav already have decent speed in the first place, and they're probably still not going to be fast enough to catch things like Skirmisher Cav, so it's not going to be all that relevant. And the charge bonus is not a good... it's not a particularly good effect, or stat rather, to stack. On the other hand, Military Heritage provides extra missile resistance for greatswords, which they do need considering they have no shields. Reload time reduction, which would buff us, buff all of our ranged units. And the attrition reduction is always helpful. The upkeep we can pretty much ignore because it won't apply to us except for the handgunners, but... yeah, I think I've convinced myself. Military Heritage is probably the way to go. 255, okay, I'm just curious about this.
To unite the
Like so. And no, there's still 255. So I guess that'll only apply to handgunners. But it's okay. That's not what we wanted for. We wanted for the missile resistance bonuses and the attrition reduction. Attrition, especially when we are going through the vampiric territories, when we have inevitably probably have to move north, it's always going to be a problem for us, so I'd rather reduce it as much as possible. And in fact, we'll probably go for reassuring presence as well. So between that and the Vanguard, we'll have a 50% reduction. I believe there's also a few defeat traits, and that should allow us to reduce it further. And I think there might be either ancillaries or buffs that we can also get to do this. Also, I forgot that you have Determined. We really need a better statted wizard. Anyway, Karl, to brass keep you go. Go in through, ideally, Reikland territory, I think. Festus's Rot versus Festus's Ague, but it does look like Festus's Ague will end next turn. Maybe we do want to stay in Hawkland's territory. I'm honestly not sure. Well, let's just hope that it doesn't spread to us. It would be annoying if it did. So to Hawkland, or stay in Hawkland. We'll need to heal up for at least a few more turns anyway here. Alright. And we can also recruit Zargard and Kossars at some point, although we probably won't bother with them. There's no real point to getting the Zargard, that's for sure. Alrighty. Now, 4 turns to get this guy up and running, but we'll get the Borderman right now, even though it's extra upkeep, but I want to reset the cooldown. Let's do this on you. That means you have to stick around for 4 turns anyway, so let's put you in here.
Yes.
And I feel like we're going to delete this archer unit. We don't need it. I'm hesitant to delete them mostly because we paid for them, but otherwise it's fine. Now you are going to probably also want to continue building up more army bits for Wolfram here, as in he will be our next army. Now the question is, what is he going to lead? We wanted to get some flagellants, but we don't have access to them right now. I guess we could go for a couple of spears, they'll always come in handy. Yeah, maybe we'll go for the spears. In fact, we're probably likely to get more spears than swords, and then some handgunners, crossbows, and standard fare for now, until we have access to more units. We'll probably also get a couple halberdiers in this army as well. But Wolfram will still probably be a flagellant army. Not 100% sure as yet, but there's a very decent chance. We should start going through Emperor's Finest for him, though, because he'll definitely benefit in some way. Because even if we don't go completely flagellants, we can just go Sigmarite Disciples as well. It buffs them both, and we can always trade the rest of his army to them. Alright, you're in a good place now. Wait, do we actually want to start recruiting now? Because if it's in 4 turns, maybe we just want you to wait. Although I'm hesitant to waste time not recruiting. You know, let's get you a free company militia. We'll probably still be using at least some of them. They're just too nice. The units are just too nice not to use, and they're cheap to recruit. They're cheap to upkeep. Good units. You can also join Wolfram's army. A recruiter, you can stay where you are. And wait, are we already ready to end the turn? Damn, it's quicker than I thought. Peter, do we go to Gisoro?
Servant of the faith. Warrior of
I guess we give it a try. How much does this cost to occupy? Colonization 2,000. Hopefully we'll get a decent amount of it back by trading it to Lewin, and he'll be happy we're with us for doing so. He still doesn't like us very much. It's concerning. It's very concerning. Watch him attack just as we do that. I wonder, well, I can't see an army at Castle Artois, so maybe you're safe. Just go for it. Give it a try. And there is a Skaven army nearby, but one Skaven army isn't all that much of a concern. And I'm actually not sure that they can reach us from here. They're on the other side of the river. So maybe you're good as you are. Also gotta remember that you have a Razor Standard, which you technically don't need. This Potion of Toughness and the Razor Standard should go to Wolfram instead. But we'll do that afterwards. Forest of Arden. Ugh. How much does this cost, or how much would you give us for this right now? We're not going to do it right now, because then we'd be in attrition territory, but just out of curiosity. This was Gisoro. 9. 9's not great. They are willing to give us 2.5k back. It'll probably be more than 9 if we build this, but then it does mean we need to hold on to it for 3 turns. I was kind of looking towards Castle Bastan as well. You know what? Let's start upgrading this. Here's an idea. We could always cancel it after. But the happier these guys are with us, the better. And we're probably going to give them back all these territories anyway. And just so that we don't have to police this territory for now. And it'll be nice for him to be our ally. We can always expand in other directions. Though actually, once we have the entire empire, we'll have to figure out where exactly we want to expand. Because we want to keep Kislev as our allies. We can't deal with the Norscan territories in the sense that we can't hold on to them. And we don't want to, because they're red, frozen climate. Well, it'll be some decisions to make. Wasteland, you got an upgrade. We're going for the fields that are now to get those buffs up and running. We definitely need the growth here. Granted, it's in favor of losing a lot of income at the current time, but between the fact that we have the guardhouses here and the fact that we don't have Marienburg Port up and the fact that Altdorf is generating all our money, I guess it doesn't really matter all that much. Alrighty, now, big deal. I just wanted to double check one thing. Ice Court's minus 5.6. Okay, that's not gonna happen. At least not yet. But it will eventually, and that's what we're heading towards. Alrighty, skip the rest of that, including the garrison lords not move. Let's end the turn. And let's see if the Skaven decide to attack Peter. If they attack him with 3 armies, especially with Ikat, especially with the nuke, he's gonna be in trouble. And no, they're not, okay. I mean, yeah, they were across the river, so they couldn't. But they could have started moving towards us. Which would have, I guess, informed our decision as to what we would have done next. Durthu is moving towards Montfort again. Interesting. But he still hasn't taken it. And with him right beside us, this may be the best opportunity for Gregor to take it. And, oh, hello, what do we have here? Ostermark fealty. Okay, that's good. We have either prestige or money, and I think we're going to spend prestige on this. Hire nearby mercenaries. And what do we have here? Oh, wow, the settlement... Oh, they have an army here. I was about to say maybe we should fight this because there's a giant and an Ragnarok, but the fact is that these guys would get absolutely overwhelmed. If there wasn't a army here, just the settlement garrison, I would have fought this, but we have too much stuff. Auto-resolve. Oh, wow, actually a decent amount of money for this, damn. It was basically like a swing of 2.5k. Because we didn't spend money on... Oh, Zufbar! We just allied with you. Come on, man. What a waste of everything. Constructor for Wolfram, Constructor for Bernhardt, which is a much better buff. And, well, while the constructors are here, and I think you have a constructor buff as well, unless I'm mistaken. You move here. Yes, construction cost -4, which means upgrade, upgrade, and a weaving house. I guess we'll do this next turn. Wolfram, you are now proceeding to Altdorf. Through attrition territory. I guess you don't need to go through attrition territory, just go here. You're gonna be taking stuff from Bernhardt in a couple turns. Alright. Recruiters stay in Eilhart for now, though we'll actually probably move you to Marienburg next turn. Do we want to spend money on this? You know what? Go here. We'll reduce the cost of this. Like so. We also want to upgrade Fort Berg-Bray, but now we can't afford it, so we're gonna have to wait until we make the money again. Gregor. What do we have in terms of defenders? Will Durthu help? Is he actually close enough to this? Let's find out. You go here. No, he will not help. Do we trust the auto-resolve, though? We have a very decent amount of ranged units here. It is low casualties, though. I think we're okay. At least I hope we're okay. Auto-resolve. Yeah, that wasn't so bad. Alright. Occupy the place. Very nice. Alrighty, and now... Okay, we got probably 3 or 4 turns until this guy's ready with a full stack to come and attack us. So in that time... Oh, we actually took this at tier 1, lovely. In that time, we gotta make good use of what we've got. Our relationship with you is improving. We do have to be careful not to trespass in your territory because you're going to get pissy about it. We could move to Castle Baston as well, which is a free take right now. But this guy will most likely then immediately attack Gisoro. Now, that also may mean it's a good time to trade Gisoro. We could cancel this and trade it to him.
As expected, France only comes calling.
Or we could summon a Temp Lord there. Though I do wonder if this guy's going to raise dead. How much is our Temp Lords right now? That's not so bad, actually, for the Archlectors. Campaign movement. We got a Cunning Archlector as well. Anything crazy here? Determined, kill the heretics. Another fast-moving strategist. These guys actually cost more to Why are these guys more expensive? Because their upkeep is less, but they're also weaker lords. Kind of weird. Oh, and you have Burn the Undead, but honestly, this is kind of trash. And the leadership buff is kind of meh. You know what? I think we're gonna risk it. We're gonna head you to Castle Baston. We do have walls to hide behind, even if we do get hit by a bunch of Skaven. Just get ready to stop. No, okay. We don't see 50,000 Skaven occupied. Lovely. And now we can see around us more. Oh, we will also build something cheap here. Let's go with the Weaving House. And the reason I want to do that is because it'll make this particular territory worth more. We will also go for State Troop Levy immediately, so that you can move the heck out of here. Now, out of curiosity, how much is this place worth to you? This was Castle Baston. -1. Okay, we're gonna wait a turn for that. Montfort is worth 3.5. Gisoro is worth the most at 9. Give him a couple turns. If we can hold on to this until this is tier 1 and maybe even build a building on it, it'll probably be worth more. Alright, I think we're gonna hold like this. And then we're gonna trade it all back to Lewin. Paravon, eh? Would be nice to take Paravon as well, and to trade it to, well, Paravon. They'd probably love it because it's their capital. Alright, well, we have an idea of what to do. Now, Karl, more importantly, are you in range of Brass Keep? You are not in range of Brass Keep. Wow, okay. Looks like we have to have yet another turn of this. Okay. Away we go, I guess.
Make haste, men.
Would have been nice if we could attack this turn. That's taken a long time to get to Festus, and I guess this is another reason we really don't want to keep him alive. Too much chaos corruption causing too much attrition to our units as they move around. Also, you really need to deal with your attrition. Events 4? What is this? You better not lose territories to rebels after we went through the trouble of getting them back for you. Oh well. Alrighty, you. 3 more turns of this, and we will need the money. You, Recruiter, is good. You, I guess you can get another one of the Free Company Militia. I don't want to go overboard on the units, though. Yeah, see, the problem is we can't really build up the full army for him. So he's going to have to come back anyway. Not that these guys are going to cost us a crazy amount per turn. Let's just build 3 spears. For now. And we can always use him as a half stack to help Karl out as well. There is that, there is potential for that. Alrighty, next up. What do we have? Krakadrin? Minus 5.8, eh? Still not good enough. Lorelorn. No. Military alliance is ready. Peace with scaling. Let them fight somebody else. I don't care about this. Give them, we'll take the money from them as well.
We'll spill your blood.
Granted, this will piss off a few of our nearby factions, but frankly, probably not enough for us to care. Then, we can always join the war against the scaling in 10 turns and get money from somebody. You are willing to go for military alliance. 290, eh? Not a crazy amount of gold, but I think it's worth our time. They'll probably declare war on some other factions shortly, but
this shall suffice.
It's fun. This is Kislev and the Empire. This is a lawful alliance. Also, we need to double check whether we can get Durthu or Arguelon to join any wars. So, Sylvania, 2.6, Fecundites, 1.0, Red Eye, 1.5. Alright, now what about Talzin? Talzin are weak, which is kind of a problem. Durthu at least is strong, so he isn't afraid of these guys. Barrow Legion, minus 6.4. Clan Molder. Minus 30. Okay, yeah, he's not gonna do it. I guess we could try one of these guys as well. We still gotta keep our relationship growing with the Widows. Barrel Legion, 28, but okay, he's not gonna do it either. A shame, but it's okay. The relationship does grow. We can always try to give them Paravon instead as well. Okay, well that's decided. I guess we're going next turn to finally attack Mr. Festus. I am still unsure whether we should raise a unit here, or we should just try to trade it off. I'm almost completely sure this guy will attack us here. He'll just raise that and attack this. But then, here's the problem. You would have to suffer attrition. Maybe we cancel this and just trade it as it is. You know what, I think that's the way to do it. Because it's better than summoning a Temp Lord here, even if it would be at a greater cost. So, you can have Gisoro. And we'll take your money, because you're not willing to do this, but this should still count as a gift, so we're going to minus 66. And this will give us to minus 26. So a little bit better. Gifts given to Karan 40. So if we do that a few more times, as you guys have been suggesting in the comments, we should be able to get him on our side. Outpost upgrade available, we're not paying 4k for that, especially as you don't have anything we need right now. Alrighty, let's end the turn, and it's time to get the Brass Keep. Would have actually been nice for Wolfram to come up there in that time, but yeah, it's not gonna happen. It's fine. End turn. Alright, let's also see whether we get attacked at Castle Baston without those Skaven. Alright, Broken Axe, nope, and the Barrow Legion. Oh, don't tell me they didn't attack Gisoro. They didn't. Of course they didn't. I guarantee if we had kept that, they would have. But oh well. It's an easy gift. Once again, the main problem is the fact that it's now trespass to get back through it. Clan Squire performed a pestilence scheme. I hate the Skaven Plague, so we're gonna have to watch out for that. Lots of was failing. Random, but okay. And A, we are indeed in range of Paravon. It's going to cost us 3k to colonize it, though. Ooh, I'd love to take Bordelot, but it's a blood ground. Huh. Where's the Beastman settlement? I take it it's in Mousillon? Why would it be in Mousillon? Which Beastman would have moved up here? I guess it could also be in Brienne. Yeah, the Chaos Corruption is 100 and going to plus 13 there. And it's actually dropping here. So the Blood Ground is here in Brienne. I'm tempted to raid this territory. I wonder how much money we'd get for this, just out of curiosity. Go here.
Keep the pace.
Risky as this may be, as there may be a billion Skaven nearby. Well, there's always a billion Skaven nearby. They're under your feet. 304, eh? You probably wouldn't be able to take... Well, you probably would be able to take this, but with effort. And with the Blood Ground there doesn't seem all that much point. We could sack Aquitaine, though.
All right.
Boilrin. I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. Do we keep raiding? You know what? Raid, but stay close enough to Baston. This is still the enemy territory. Lovely. We can raid and draw out the garrison if we get attacked. Okay, I think that's a pretty good compromise. Foreign trespasser, we don't care about you. We do care about you, Gregor. You're going to Paravon.
Without question.
And you're gonna spend some cash. Colonize. Alrighty, then we are going to take a few turns to buff it. Hopefully before these guys get here, though out of curiosity, how much is this worth to you? 14! We can immediately go into defensive alliance, or we could get them to give us money. Or almost a trade agreement. It'll be worth a lot more if we can upgrade it, though. How much is it worth to Durthu? Out of curiosity. Trade to Durthu, Paravon. It's only worth 4. He would consider this a gift, though, so it would be a massive increase in friendship, and we could get a military access going with him. And money. That's tempting. That's very tempting, in fact, and we could do it right now as well. We wouldn't have to do it through these guys. These guys are a minor faction, and they will die. And Durthu will most likely actually lose Paravon eventually as well. You know, I kind of like that, and this way we won't have to spend any money here. And then Gregor can return to Montfort and Helmgart, and maybe even Kyrgyzstan, depending on what happens here. I think we give it to Durthu. Alright. Decision made. You get Paravon, we get military access and money. This way, no trespass, and our relationship is now rising to 81, which means eventually trade agreement and defensive alliance. And once again it is... oh, damn. You will suffer attrition for a turn. I forgot about that. That's my bad. Should have done it next turn. Yeah, but oh well.
I will do anything for Sigmar.
Hopefully still worth it. Alrighty, now, a little bit of an admin episode. Sorry about that, guys, but it does happen. Karl, are you going to suffer attrition if you attack directly? As in, can you siege without suffering attrition? It would be nice to build a couple of Empire siege towers. You do not suffer attrition. So I think for one turn, maybe it would be better to heal. They could sally out and attack us in the field, but they'd lose if they tried it. Though they would do a pretty good job because of the Chaos Knights. At least we do have a single unit of Reiksguard to counter each one of them. Also gotta remember that we do gotta get Zintler's Reiksguard in this army, which means another slot. Oh, actually, speaking of slots, you know what we should also do? Are you able to recruit a Reiksguard unit? No. We're at 2 out of 2, but Altdorf will upgrade you to tier 3, which will increase the Order Knight capacity by 1, giving us an additional Reiksguard available. Absolutely perfect. Alrighty, Marienburg, we have to save up money for you, but let's move you here. And Poppy and Tailheart for now. Then we're gonna go Weaving House, and we're gonna go with Taylor's Guild. Nice, nice, everything's going well there. And are we ready to switch off Council of Burgomeisters? Well, we probably still want growth. I am tempted to get Imperial Taxation. What's the cost of upgrading the Weaving House again? It is 1200, so it's not really all that much. I think the Imperial Taxation will give us more in the long run. Minus the growth, of course. But our growth is already at 300, which is pretty damn solid. You know what? Imperial Taxation it is. Our control's so high that we don't care. Also, you can proceed here, and we have 2 more turns already. Man, I know that we haven't actually fought a battle this episode, but I feel like this is going very well so far. We've advanced, we've gotten some reputation gains, we've started to improve our relationship with Lewin. Everything's going well, everything's going suspiciously well, which is also making me nervous. And I don't like it, which is why I keep jumping around thinking or trying to figure out what we need to do otherwise. Other than what we're currently doing. We need to... ah, damn. So we need to either save up money for Marienburg Harbor, or we can continue recruiting right now, because we do still want you to have an army. I am tempted to get you a couple of those halberds. Oh, you do need at least 1 free company. Alright, let's do it. It would be really nice if this guy can function. As in by himself, as an army. He'll still also need a couple mortars, and... yeah. 2 more turns. 2,500. We'll also need to make sure that we have enough for you. Also, quick deal. Just to double check. Ooh, Averland, ready for a trade agreement. Very nice. Oh, no, Averland. What happened to you? You're weak. You're very weak. Oh, they're fighting Vlad, aren't they? Okay, that's concerning. Let's get the trade agreement going, which will increase our relationship with them, but we need to get down there before they die, and then we lose our climbing authority, which is looking good right now. Alright, I believe that's it. We need to sack, or we need to only attack this for 1 turn. I wonder how much sack value this has. 5k. We may want to actually sack the place, because we do need money. I wonder if Festus would be back by then. But either way, we should probably still return it to Hawkland, as I believe originally it was their territory. Alrighty, well, let's end the turn with that. Let's hope that we get ourselves a battle. Why do you still have this guy? Oh, you're going to transfer him to Peter. As well as another one, possibly. But we can't do that right now, so we'll skip on that. Outpost upgrade available. Skip, end the turn. Well, let's see if Peter's in danger of getting attacked by Boilrin. And if not, we hit the enemy with our siege. Alright, Clan Squire, nope, not gonna attack Peter. Keep on raiding, buddy, keep on raiding. And let's hope... Oh, ooh, I see the orcs just moved somewhere. Huh, they actually had a victory thing. They might have attacked somebody. Eric Ziflin. I think you just got attacked by Durthu. Oh, if Durthu could sack Blackstone Post without taking it over and allow us to take these territories, that would be great. Granted, they're yellow territories, but nonetheless. We gotta lose some prestige here. Except merchant. We've already read this. We're gonna arrange political favors because we need a lot of money right now. We're not losing authority, that's for damn sure. And there we go. This will help with our money situation at least a little bit. There's probably a bunch of other admin stuff that we have to figure out, but we won't be doing so right now because it's time to strike. You have a student, yes? You do not. You have a scribe, but that's not a student. You do not either. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. I think we're good. I don't think we need to swap any items around. Let's just fight. Been waiting for this. We have a decent amount of siege towers. Karl, with his flying mount, should also be able to take down the enemy towers. Our mortars will break down the wall towers. I think this should go well our way.
See to it!
Alright, you see to it yourself, Karl. Let's have you find some towers if we need to, although there is the concern now that there are Furies up in the air. 3 of them, in fact, and maybe we want to avoid those. But we'll see. Also, I completely forgot about the adjutants being summoned directly under Karl. It's quite an annoyance. Fortunately, they didn't get damaged while they were summoned here, but, I wonder what would happen if you were to put the aerial units in terrain where it's impassable for ground units. I guess we'll see at some point out, and it looks like they did now lose at least a few here. 22 of the halberdiers died from a couple of volleys. Alright, definitely gotta watch out for those towers. And Karl is, in fact, going to back off. Also, I'm pretty sure we have this map in Bretonnia as well. I swear I remember fighting on this map in a Bretonian settlement rather than an Empire one, but I do quite like this map. It's quite long, and it looks a lot more like a city than a lot of other maps do. And definitely feels like some good old-fashioned city fighting. But anyway, also, unfortunately, I did forget about our wizard who is deployed all the way back there, but we do move him here in a second, though we are going to now speed up and start destroying those towers. It is of no concern to us how long this takes, obviously, so we are going to knock those out before moving in. Of course, they probably wouldn't be able to bring down our own siege towers, but why allow them to interfere? Plus, we can at least provide some fire support with our ranged units while the siege towers move in, because this is a chaos force, and they have no ranged units of their own. Unless they have some exalted plague bearers, which I don't think they do. And they just have the regular ones here, so not such a huge concern. Still, that doesn't mean we should be underestimating the forces of chaos. They've got a lot of armor, and this is a Nurgle after all, so a decent amount of staying power, poison all over the place, and probably some decent spells as well. Taking a look at those chaos spawn of Nurgle there. But we'll be fighting them in a bit. And let's see, that tower is the last one on the field, and we are ready to start finally moving forward. I guess it's finally time to get a siege with actual siege towers. I always love watching the siege engines work. It's just that it's so rare to actually do so. Also, this one got clipped by one of our mortars, and this one's having a tough time getting through. But oh well. Alrighty, I think now it's time to go back to normal speed and watch the rest of this battle. Obviously, our mortars have switched to bombarding the enemy, and this is what they see with the towers approaching. Plus, we do have our own range units moving up. I feel like the bordermen can, in fact, shoot over walls, or at least they can certainly arc their shots, but I guess we're about to find out. Then we'll start softening up the targets with some good old-fashioned crossbow and handgunner fire. The handgunner's not super useful because the Merlin's blocking most of their shots, but I'm sure they'll still get at least a few hits in, and the crossbows will arc over, and just fine. Not that I expect that this does a crazy amount of damage, but further softening up the targets before the siege towers get here will certainly be of value. There we go, very nice mortar shot right in the middle of those enemies. Very nice indeed. Still can't wait until we can replace all of our mortars with Hellstorm rocket batteries, but, well, I was about to say it's going to be a while, but it actually probably won't be as long. Altdorf is already at tier 3, and it only needs to be at tier 4 to access Hellstorms, and I do believe we're getting reasonably close to tier 4 already, so that'll be a very nice and fairly big power-up to this army. Alrighty, towers are getting closer and closer. I still do think that at least some factions' towers should have, like, a dockable zones or something, so that they can have ranged units firing, or just more advanced towers that fire on the enemy as they approach. I mean, this is Warhammer, you don't have to be completely identical with every single type of tower. And I'm completely sure that if, like, the Skaven and the Dwarfs and other such faction can definitely build towers that also have, like, little catapults or bolt throwers or something on them. Warp lightnings, who knows? If the Skaven can build a Doom Wheel, they damn well can build a better siege tower, is what I'm getting at. Alrighty, well, the mortars and the crossbows have been working away at the walls. The plague bearers are kind of damaged. They're still a little bit under half HP, but at least they won't be posing any kind of threat. Our great swords are almost here, and the enemy will be moving in order to see those guys up, but it does look like it is going to be flying some Furies around. And Karl is essentially just hovering around in the air, waiting to countercharge the Furies, in fact, in case they go in, rather, for our ranged units back there, because obviously the latter are quite vulnerable. Karl moves in to hit these guys a little bit and allow the crossbows to take some shots at said Furies, in hopes of drawing them forward and into our lines of fire. Looks like the Furies are going to fly over the walls now, and I'm impressed with the AI for doing this, because it's going to sally out in several locations at once. In fact, both of its exalted heroes going outside of the settlement, Chaos Warriors with halberds following them, and on this side, the other exalted hero, and I think some other units are about to move out as well. I think it's the Chaos spawn, or the spawn of Nurgle, rather. And it looks like it's going to send the Furies at our two mortars, though fortunately those are nearly out of ammunition. We are going to immediately move our halberdiers back to protect them. I really didn't expect this, but definitely props to the AI for trying it. Absolutely what a player would do, especially as these mortars are relatively unprotected right now. Unfortunately for the Furies, A, they will take damage from crossbows, B, our halberdiers are very close, and C, Karl has trapped one, and D, the Reiksguard are moving right under them, so even if they did reach the mortars, they would have dropped out of the sky quickly. Karl getting some last duels in with his Pegasus, and I do say last because he should be on Deathclaw very soon, and it looks like the Furies are out of the picture here. And there we go, breaking them apart. And there's those sallying units. Another unit of Chaos Warriors with great weapons have sallied out together with those Chaos Warriors with halberds. Gonna take some shots from the Bordermen here as well as our regular handgunners, but are doing a good job at chasing our units. I'm gonna send the Sons of Sigmar to try to countercharge them and allow our handgunners to back off and continue firing. Other than that, though, the Reiksguard that did charge in did get quite badly damaged by the Chaos Warriors with halberds, unsurprisingly, and the Exalted Hero. And we're going to move Karl in to help and hopefully stop these guys in their tracks. It does look like he does get completely surrounded by those halberd-wielding Chaos Warriors, and we do have to be careful there nonetheless. Alrighty. Looks like a few more of our Reiksguard go down, and Karl is unfortunately now trapped. He's popped his healing potion, but he's below half HP, so we need to try to get him out. The Reiksguard are getting him out way too slowly, so we're going to overcharge an Urnon's Thunderbolt in the hopes of doing enough damage to this particular unit of Chaos Warriors to allow Karl to move, even though he is still healing. Still would rather not risk anything happening. Otherwise, the other enemy unit is being held in place quite well by the Sons of Sigmar and are taking some shots from the handgunners, although because of our positions and because of the Reiksguard as well, it's difficult to get good angles on the enemy Chaos Warriors. It is nice to watch Chaos Warriors fight a regular mortal swordsman, though. Damn, those guys are huge. Alrighty, now over on this side, the Exalted Hero is fighting the Imperial Foot, who are having a little bit of trouble with him, probably because of their armor piercing being a little bit on the low side. You always gotta be careful with these guys. I don't know why they even tried that, but this guy was right in the middle of our units, and they decided that, yeah, no, we're going to launch all of our grenades and explode our own unit. Bordermen. They almost take a sort of Skaven outlook, as in they're sometimes more of a danger to you than you are to them. Anyway, it looks like our towers have also docked in the walls, and the fight over the main settlement has begun at the same time as the enemy has sallied. So we're fighting on two fronts essentially right now, but it is going like a pretty glorious siege so far, and it feels quite appropriate. Like in SFO, just compared to vanilla, I feel like we've been getting so many sieges in the various campaigns that feel like more proper sieges. Whether it be from the due to the AI behavior or not, maybe it's just a complete coincidence, as the AI behavior probably wouldn't have changed. But this is a damn fine siege. Karl moving in and knocking that one Chaos Warrior off the wall by charging into the backs of these guys, getting a little bit of support from our crossbows, though hopefully not too much damage into our own troops. It looks like they are arcing over the towers, which may actually be sort of inadvertently protecting our greatswords from hits to their backs. And that said, it is still taking some time and effort to get through here. Our great swords have all lost about half of their HP, and Karl's at half and without a healing potion now, since he's used his, so we do have to be careful about getting him stuck up here, at least again. On the bright side, though, the sallying forces have pretty much been destroyed, the Exalted Hero surrounded and wrecked by the Halberdiers, and there's more units still sallying out. The Chaos Spawn and additional Marauders have joined the fray outside, but both the Chaos Warriors and the other Exalted Hero on this side have been destroyed as well. And battle's going in our favor, and as you guys saw the Urnhan's Thunderbolt, we've obviously also moved our wizard into position, and he is also going to be applying Helm of Discord periodically to enemies here. And he can help by chasing the Exalted Hero down as well. Alrighty, don't see a lot of Chaos Spawn of Nurgle, so let's watch them fight a little bit. I'm sure there will be plenty more battles for the great swords, and I'm sure there will still continue fighting up on the walls for a while as yet. Halberdiers doing work, applying their anti-large to those Chaos Spawn, though our handgunners having a little bit of a difficult time firing on them. They are now repositioned to where hopefully they'll have better shots. Really, it feels like they should have the angles. I mean, look at all this that they should be able to fire at. Maybe we should have moved them, like, right there instead. Okay, there we go. Now they're firing. Gunning down a Chaos Spawn. Nice focus on this guy. Of course, the Halberdiers are not going to do as well against the Marauders there, but they do have help with the Imperial Foot still here as well. And I don't trust the Bordermen to fire into this, so we're just going to keep them back for now. Oh, and there are Chaos Knights and Trolls milling around out there, so we do have to be careful of those. It looks like this is still going to be a fight, and the enemy's doing a good job at preventing us from getting our ram through to the wall, or through to the gate, rather. On the bright side, though, we are still continuing to win slowly but surely over up on the walls. And the enemy is fighting, but we have fire support with our range, and they don't. And we also have a very decent amount of armor piercing in all of our great swords. And I've gotten a few Halberdiers up here as well, just to reinforce. Another Urnhan's Thunderbolt being super effective on the blobs of enemies up on the walls as well. Should see off this unit, even if that was a non-overcast one. But these Chaos Warriors are pretty much done. Lovely. And Karl is just hovering around, mostly to add his leadership buff, but also to occasionally cast the Reikland Runefang to give everybody up here the extra melee attack. I just don't want him to drop down and take any more damage. Now what a fun siege. Alrighty, and keep going. And it really does, as somebody commented, that SFO makes all these battles feel like a grind, which makes it feel more Warhammery. But I will counter that with, yes, I agree, but also it also makes them feel more realistic as well. Not just more Warhammery, and it is absolutely more Warhammery, which is a word, but it does feel closer to historical titles in terms of the battle length oftentimes. And it has been an absolute grind for this wall here. And this is just against regular Chaos Warriors. Man, if this place was full of tons of Chosen, I wonder how much more difficult this would have gone. Especially since greatswords are only a tier 2 infantry. Empire is all about being jack of all trades rather than master. Though of course their artillery is pretty glorious. And I still feel like dwarves should have at least one artillery piece that's better than Hellstorms. It's silly that the source of Imperial artillery is essentially dwarf knowledge, but the dwarves have inferior artillery, and they don't have a war machine like tanks, even though dwarves are absolutely capable and do build war engines or siege engines, or I forget what the dwarves call them, but they do build them. Though I imagine they're a little bit rarer nowadays. There are still some wacky, extremely drunk engineers doing Morgrim's work and building crazy nonsense. Anyway, let's check back on the balance of power. It's still only about 60%, maybe 65 actually, % in our favor, closing in on 70, and we are starting to move into the city. Halberdiers and Imperial Foot have entered the fray. We are getting those handgunners to help out, and we should be moving deeper into the settlement with our Reiksguard as well. And this also means that the wall is nearly clear, and we will be getting all of our units off the wall and down into main settlement shortly, which will hopefully allow our additional handgunners to move through the towers and start firing down on the enemy. The second gate, however, is still a little bit problematic. One of our units of Reiksguard, together with the Sons of Sigmar, are trying to get through the gate, but the enemy is still holding here with their own units of Chaos Knights. Their second unit of Chaos Knights is also probably going to move in shortly, and I do believe it is on this side, though it looks like the enemy wants to move the Trolls in first. We're doing a decent job fighting some halberds. I think this might be the summoned unit of halberds, though, so we don't actually care about this unit dying. Would be really nice to get our Empire Knights and our Great Sword Adjutant, but at 2.4k prestige, I'd really rather wait for now. We've got better things to spend that prestige on. We're getting closer and closer to that rank 10 Imperial Authority, and that is going to be an insanely good buff. Alrighty, Imperial Foot had to back off, unfortunately, as they've taken quite a lot of damage, though at least a quarter of their HP was stripped away by the Bordermen. And now we are streaming into the city. The wall has been cleared, and the gate, one of the gates is breached. And our handgunners are up on the walls. Beautiful. Although, not so beautiful because unfortunately, for whatever reason, the game didn't allow the units to really move or dock up here. The handgunners refused to do anything, so I just moved them off and then down here, but that's okay. They can still focus down some larger units. And there we go, especially because they'll be in the middle of all of our melee, so they'll still be protected. Who's too powerful? We'll see about that. I shouldn't jinx it though, because there is still another unit of Chaos Knights right there riding around, and we should still very much be concerned about them. The Trolls still have to be taken care of, but our Halberdiers fight on and also apply armor-piercing damage to the Chaos Warriors as well. Though it is absolutely a grind. Oh, and there's the Bordermen. Now that we've moved our own units by and large away from the enemy, there's a few still to get clipped, but there's a mob of Chaos Warriors here, and the Bordermen can fire through the gate and continue annoying them. There we go. They haven't been able to get too much action in this particular episode, or in this particular battle either, but now they're doing a decent amount of damage to those Chaos Warriors. Get another couple of shots and then this unit will rout, and in fact it is already in bad shape, bad enough that they've called in those reinforcing Chaos Knights. The Trolls have run, but the Chaos Knights are in, but not to worry, our handgunners are ready to fire over the heads of the rest of our units and go after the Knights instead. Although they were focusing on the Trolls until this. And there we go, and we do have too many units in front of us, or in front of the handgunners, for the enemy to get through. Although I'm pretty sure that the AI could get through if it really tried, because it has the ability to not get constantly engaged by your units. And there we go, crossbow support and bordermen support as well, right into the middle of those formations.
Fight, men! Fight for our rights!
Although I imagine the Chaos Knights don't care too much about the grenades. Yeah, look how much effort it takes to bring a single unit of Chaos Knights down. This feels so right. Like, Chaos Knights really shouldn't melt in 2 seconds.
None shall live! They are too powerful!
Stop saying they're too powerful, man. Somebody execute that guy. He's hurting our morale. And I do assume that it's our unit screaming, because it didn't sound like it was a marauder saying that. Yes, Sigmar. Charge for Sigmar. Let's see what we got here. The Chaos Knights are shattered and are out over on this side. It looks like the Chaos Knights are similarly shattered and the enemy Chaos Lord has decided to give up as well. We didn't manage to get through this gate, but it looks like it doesn't matter as this portion of the battlefield, including the enemy Lord, decided to rout / shatter as soon as most of the units here were dead. Plus, I guess we were getting more and more units on top of the walls, and the crossbows at least were able to fire from up there, and in fact basically ran out of ammunition. And we did take quite a lot of damage. Look at all these hurt units. One of our Reiksguard is down to the dregs, their halberdiers. Our Imperial Foot nearly destroyed. Our great swords hurt in great numbers as well. But of course taking the wall on those towers did take some effort. Now it's just a matter of taking out these Nurglings, so I'm just going to speed it up a little bit and allow those units to disintegrate, or move a few range units forward to take some shots at them. Why take even more damage here? There's no need. Especially as we may get screwed over with a plague that causes attrition, and then lose units to that, so better not risk it. Range units kill those last Nurglings. Kinda dumb of the AI not to use the Nurglings, though. They're very nice and very helpful at bogging the enemy down. Plus, they're just so fun to watch. Alrighty, and these last Nurglings will melt away into goo, and the battle for Brasskeep will end. And I guess we had a nice little statue of Moore to watch everything while all that happened. Lovely. Well, it was the appropriate statue. It was a close victory, so we definitely did take some damage. Once again, I gotta praise this map. It's pretty great. Very nice map. I think one of my favorite maps. One of my favorite non-vampire counts maps, but I may have a little bias there. Anyway, let's see what the damage is, and let's see about sacking the place as well. Ooh, man, what a fun siege. You gotta love what SFO does for sieges, and that certainly did take some effort. We took a long time to clear out those walls, the great swords standing atop there fighting, and those Chaos Warriors for what seemed like ages, and then the Chaos Knights down below as well. Very, very fun. I got a decent amount of prestige out of that, a decent amount of money as well. Then we would get 5k for sacking this, and I feel like that's probably not something we should pass up. Karl also spent a turn, so he has full movement range, so he should be able to get right back to it. And I guess that's probably what we're gonna do. We'll let our ally redevelop the territory, but for now we'll sack it. And there we go, enemy killed in battle, and hey, we got the silver bullets unlocked as well. Karl, did you get any new plagues from that? No, you did not. You still have only Festus's rot. So, silver bullets and the white wolves, and he's got Deathclaw on top of all that, which would have probably been quite helpful in that particular battle. Now, I guess we're going to have to come up to the decision as to whether we do, in fact, destroy these guys right now, considering the effort it took to bring them down, or whether we try to get one more Festus defeat trait on another lord. It would mean allowing them to stay here. On the other hand, though, it feels like more likely than not, even if we don't occupy it, and trade it to one of the electors, one of them is just going to go ahead and march on it. And actually, if it isn't Hawkland, we'll get an Imperial event that would make us choose between who to give the territory to, which might actually decrease our fealty with Talabekland. Well, personally, I'm for occupying it immediately rather than leaving it, and yeah, Festus has a great defeat trait, but I'm not sure that we can rely on it right now. But I'd still love to know your guys' thoughts, so I'm going to call the episode here. Let me know what you think our next goal should be, or rather our progression should be with regards to Brass Keep, how we should handle that. Otherwise, next episode we will go south with Karl and either go for Draika or for Vlad, but on the way to Vlad either way, because we do have to start fighting him before he screws us over. In addition to that, hopefully we'll get some more mileage out of what we've been doing in Bretonnia. It looks like Lewin is starting to like us more, and we should be able to trade him Castle Baston in a little bit. I'm hoping that we can trade it to him while also getting the military access trait. We just need a few turns to go by so that we can get this, and then we don't cause trespassing. Because otherwise we'd have to go through Gisero, and the fact is I feel like the Wood Elves also wouldn't like us doing it. Anyway, stay tuned for more Empire and the glorious battles we've been having. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.